Once upon a time, in a shimmering lake surrounded by tall, whispering trees, lived a family of swans. They were not just any swans, they were the most graceful creatures you could ever imagine. With feathers as white as freshly fallen snow and long, elegant necks that swayed like a dancer's. But among them was one special swan who was different from the rest. His name was Louis. Louis had something very important to say, but he couldn't make a sound. Oh dear. You see, Louis was born without a voice. He watched his brothers and sisters trumpet happily, filling the air with their musical honks. Honk! Honk! Went his sister Sarah. Come on, Louis! Join us! But all he could do was flap his wings in frustration. One sunny day, while the sun sparkled on the water like tiny diamonds, Louis decided to explore the edge of the lake. As he glided through the reeds, he spotted a shiny object poking out of the mud. Curiosity fluttered in his heart like a butterfly. He waddled over and pulled it out with his beak. Wowie! He exclaimed, in his own silent way, gazing at what he had found. A beautiful brass trumpet. Its shiny surface gleamed in the sunlight. This must be magic, he thought excitedly. With a deep breath and a little wiggle of his tail feathers, Louis pressed the trumpet to his lips. He blew as hard as he could. Suddenly, a magnificent sound filled the air. A loud, rich note that echoed across the lake. Honk, honk, it trumpeted. His heart soared like an eagle. The other swans turned to look at him in amazement. Louis, is that you? Sarah gasped, her eyes wide with wonder. You can play music! I can play music! Louis squeaked joyfully in his mind. He felt like the king of the lake. From that day forward, Louis practiced every day with his trumpet. He played happy tunes that made everyone smile and dance. But soon, adventure called. One breezy morning, a flock of wild geese flew by and heard Louis's enchanting melodies. What a delightful sound, one goose said, flapping his wings with excitement. Let's follow it! Curious about this new audience, Louis spread his wings wide and began to play louder. The sound floated through the air like sweet candy floss. The geese landed nearby, clapping their wings in delight. Bravo, bravo, they honked enthusiastically. Louis felt proud and happy, but then, oh no, a gust of wind swept through the trees and knocked over a nearby tree branch, splashing into the water with a great big splash. Look out! Cried Sarah as she flapped her wings to help her brother. In that moment of chaos, Louis took a deep breath and played his trumpet with all his might. The notes danced through the air like sparkling fireflies, calming everyone around him. The swans and geese gathered close together as they listened to Louis's soothing melody. Thank you for saving us with your music, one goose exclaimed when the storm passed. From that day on, word spread about Louis, the swan with a magical trumpet. Animals from all over came to hear him play. Bunnies hopped along the shore, deer peeked through the bushes, even wise old owls fluffed their feathers and listened closely. And you know what? One starry night, while everyone was gathered for an evening concert under the moonlight, Louis spotted something special in the audience, his mother and father smiling proudly at him. Louis, his father said softly after the performance ended, you found your voice in music. Oh yes, said Louis with glee. His heart danced like butterflies all around him. I may not have a honking voice like my siblings, but I have something just as wonderful. As time went on, Louis became famous for his incredible trumpet playing. He brought joy to everyone around him and proved that even if you're different, you can still shine bright. And so we learn that sometimes our differences can lead us to find our own unique talents. And who knows, maybe even magic. The stars twinkled brightly above as Louis played one last song that night, filling everyone's hearts with love and happiness. So remember this tale of Louis and his trumpet whenever you feel different or left out. You might just have something wonderful waiting inside you too. And they all lived happily ever after by their shimmering lake, honking and trumpeting away under the stars. The end.